Good afternoon, team. Somebody confirm you can hear me? Otieno, can you hear me? Otieno, confirm you can hear me, please. I know that. Sorry. Oh, thank you.
So hope we can hear you.
Oh, thank you, Asante. Yeah. Good afternoon, team. My name is Franklin Songok from NASCOP. I wanted to request that we begin at 2:10, because now we are still few. We're almost hitting 100. So let's use the 4 minutes to mobilize our colleagues. Then we begin at exactly 2:10. Thank you, and karibuni. Yeah, thanks, Tim, and good afternoon once more. Uh, I guess we can begin. It's 10 minutes past two, and we can. I'm thinking we can begin. The rest of the team members will meet us on the way. Sorry, because of time. Otieno, again, confirm you can hear me. My network seems to be very unstable.
Yeah, Suguk, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. Right. So again, welcome to our third series of the virtual trainings that we have lined up for you as a follow-up of the release that we shared about 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, about 3 weeks ago. So today, our topic will be focusing majorly on laboratory workflow and the lab manifest operations. We intend to have about four objectives. One is to ensure that you understand the role of the lab module in Kenya EMR. We should also make you understand and know how to request, process, and view lab tests and test results. We should also be able to ensure that we understand the remote login process for EID, viral load, and flu tests, and illustrate some benefits of lab module and lab manifest to facilities through a demo. So I don't know whether because I wanted us to just begin. Otieno, if you can share the agenda. Unfortunately, I'm not able to share from my end. So Otieno, if you can share the agenda, that would be very helpful. Kindly. So meanwhile, as Otieno shares the agenda, I wanted to just find out whether we have, because we want to just hear a few remarks from some of our colleagues from leadership. So I don't know whether we have Jojo Whistle from Palladium or Diana To. Maybe if any one of you is in the call can speak on behalf of Palladium. Diana in the call or George? I guess probably they haven't joined. I don't know whether we have anyone from Otieno or you're sharing this the agenda. Thank you. I don't know we have any colleague from DOD, either Lydia or Dr. Gonza. Yeah. Anyone from CDC? Yeah. Apologies from Dr. Lily. Again, she's engaged in she has another engagement, so she may not be able to join us in this call. So what Otieno is sharing is our agenda. We will allow some of the colleagues to speak to us once they join, but I think what we intend to cover is what Otieno is already sharing. So Otieno will take us through a very short presentation, a quick one, just to help us understand as part of an introduction to lab workflow and the lab manifest. He'll also be able to take us through the first part of the demo, generally just looking at the laboratory workflow, a general overview. And then Kennedy Ogutu will also take us through another demo focusing on the lab manifest and remote login. And then Otieno will again come back to take us through the reporting bit. Then we will take you through to a Q&A, and then we should be able to close. So I will request that as the presentations and the demos are going on, if you have any questions, kindly post on the chat. We have a team that will be very ready to respond to any of your questions. At this point, I want to welcome Otieno to take us through the first part of the presentation. Then after that, I'll take us through the demo. Once he's done with the demo, I'll request that Otieno, you can usher in Ogutu. Ogutu, once you're done, you can then usher in Otieno again. Then I'll close it up with the Q&A. So just take note of your questions. You can post them, or if you feel you want to verbalize your questions, then we'll give you an opportunity to ask them. So Otieno, over to you, and everyone, you're most welcome. Thanks, Otieno.
Yeah, thank you, Songok. Kindly confirm if I'm audible from your end.
Yes, certainly you're very audible, loud and clear, and we can see your slide deck. So first, just put it on slideshow and then proceed.
Is it on slide? Yeah, so I believe, Songok, I believe my presentation is on presentation mode. So this is just a short introductory slide, just to kind of introduce the lab module and the lab manifest module, which we are intending to cover today, being the third training in our virtual training series for this quarter. Yeah, so I want to believe that the screen is moving, not like the last time. I think we had some internet challenges. So for today's training,
Yes,
our
it is
objectives.
moving on channel, moving.
Okay, thank you. Yes, for today's training objective, we are going to majorly focus on 4 areas. One is to ensure that we all understand the role of the lab module in KNYMR. What is it? What does it do? And what are some of the efficiencies it brings to the users and to the facility, and also to the strategic information aspect. The second one is to just all of us need to understand how to request the process of requesting for the laboratory test, the process of logging in the test, conducting the test, and also just posting back the result, and how that result is returned to the provider to ensure that they're able to now use it for patient management. We are also going to help you understand the process of the lab manifest and the remote login for VL and EID. And again, also just highlight some of the benefits that you want to get while using this particular module. So the overview will just be about the introductory section, then the why of the lab module, looking at the features and also how we can be able to implement and some of the requirements for implementation, and if there are any challenges. So the first question we ask ourselves talking about the laboratory module is what is it? Yeah. Yeah, so I'm sure most of you have interacted with some of the laboratory forms in the 2.x, in the KNYMR 2.x, sorry. But you realize that on 3.x it's a bit different, it's a bit more comprehensive. So on 3.x, we have a whole integrated lab management kind of laboratory management system or module that manages the workflow in terms of accepting the test request and posting the results after the tests are conducted, and how that goes back to the clinician or the healthcare provider that made the request. And also the aspect of this, one of the important aspect of this module is the fact that it can it keeps the digital history for all the laboratory tests that takes place in the facility for that particular patient. So it's kind of like provides a historical view of all the tests that have been done. And that is very important if you want to maybe do like a past review of some of the tests and the results to help you make certain clinical decisions. And again, also, ultimately, there are reports that are generated from this that also goes a long way in understanding the laboratory workload, and also in terms of some of the registers that relates to the lab. So some of the key functions of this particular module, one is to ensure that we have electronic test request process without having to write those small paper notes. So the clinicians from their desk, they're able to just post the lab request. The lab guys will be able to get that and then do the needful. For the lab manifest, there is that barcode that can be printed, and then you can stick that on the vacuitinas to ensure that these vacuitinas are well labeled, and we minimize confusion in terms of the wrong labeling when these tests go to the reference laboratories. And again, also, in some instances, this module integrates seamlessly with some laboratory information management system. A good example, and I'm sure if the NERI users are in this meeting, you can confirm maybe through acclamation, just raising your hand, that the Kenya system is integrated with the LIMS, and there's that seamless exchange of information between the EMR and the LIMS, so that the tests are ordered from the Kenya EMR, and then the results are posted directly into the LIMS, and that makes it back. It makes it way back to the Kenya EMR. So that integration is working very well. So that means that integration capability is there. There's the real-time result entry and validation. Again, also the results are validated, as you'll be able to see, so that we minimize those transcription errors. And again, also the real-time result availability to the healthcare provider is another key benefit and a key function of this particular module, where the provider is able to access the results in real time. As soon as they are posted, the provider is able to get the results. And I've talked about the automated reporting. So some of the benefits that we can account for using this particular module, especially for the facilities, you'll experience reduced turnaround time, where we have faster result processing for better clinical decisions and clinical management. The module meets the MOH and facility reporting requirements, as we'll be able to see. Because of the transcription issues, the module eliminates the manual transcription. Therefore, we don't have those transcriptional mistakes that may happen if you're using the paper forms. And it also adheres to data security requirement, and it ensures that all the lab historic tests are digitally stored safely and can be accessed through authorized access. So in summary, that's how the interface for the laboratory module looks like, especially from the lab side. You'll be having the dashboard where you have the number of tests ordered, how many are in progress, how many have been completed in terms of results have been posted back, and different sections that we'll be able to see practically when we get to that. Yeah, so for the laboratory module, we've talked about the ability to streamline the laboratory workflow. And we emphasize that at the facility, every user has a role, especially the clinicians and the lab guys. You have a role to ensure that there is efficiency and the clear roles that you need to play to ensure that this particular model is used seamlessly at your facility. And of course, also, in case of anything, we advise strongly that you reach out. If you experience any issues with the module, you need to reach out to our service desk for a very quick solution to ensure that the work continues. Otherwise, for purposes of learning, after this particular training, we'll be giving you access to online job aids to ensure that you can go through them at your own time and you're able to utilize this particular module. Again, looking at the lab manifest for remote logging for VL and EID. So we also have the lab manifest. Majority of us here, you remember this module was accessible on 2.x. So we're happy to inform you that now this the module has been onboarded onto 3.x. So you no longer access it through 2.x. So that is really, really important that we understand. So Lab Manifest now exists on 3.x platform, and the illustration you are seeing on your screen is how the dashboard looks like in terms of looking at the total manifest, how many are ready to send, how many are completed, and how many are incomplete. And again, also the average turnaround time across different time period. That is also available. So Lab Manifest provide seamless remote logging of samples at collection labs and streamlines the results. It streams results directly into the patient file so that for the providers, you'll be able to access patients' viral load result directly from their profile. So you don't need to care about the entire workflow from the facility to reference lab and back. It is also able to track the status of each sample, whether it is successful, whether it's complete or not. We'll be able to see that. And that goes with all the efficiency that comes with the reduction in paperwork and also the quick turnaround time. And of course, the reliability of results, because we don't have, again, the transcription errors, which ensures that the results that come from the reference lab is directly inserted into patient file. No alterations, no one interferes with that. So it means that the result that is there is what is there. That is also a very important aspect of the lab manifest module. Some of the main features, it includes the manifest creation process. We'll be able to see that. You'll be able to add sample. You can print the manifest. You can also print the barcodes to ensure that you are able to correctly label the vaccinations. You are able to monitor the status and also get the results streamed in automatically. So for the lab manifest, you'll need internet, a bit of internet to ensure that the results, the test can be ordered, the manifest can be remotely logged to reference lab, and the result is streamed back in. So you'll need a bit of internet connectivity to accomplish that. Yeah, so that's a brief about the process, the lab workflow, and also the lab manifest. So at this point, I want to transition directly to the EMR so that we can be able to see, sorry, you can be able to see the lab process. So as Sungok has outlined, I'm going to take you through the workflow, and then my colleague Gutu will take you through the lab manifest. Then we can look at the reports, and then we end the training. So I'll just stop sharing a little bit as I switch the screens. Can anyone confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes, it is visible. Probably you can zoom in a bit.
Okay, I've tried. I hope that is okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. Yeah. So I'll start by first of all going home. So this is where we start from. This is the homepage for Kenya EMR 3.x. I wouldn't go through different sections because I believe we fairly know how to navigate. But I'll just point out a few things. If you look at on my left of the screen or your left, you'll be seeing different sections. Those sections have been, we have tried to group them so that if you want more tabs, you just expand. So for instance, if I want to look at what is under the patient services, we have service queues, we have appointment. If I want to look at what is under claims management, you'll be seeing the claims overview and the pre-op request. If you look at linkages, we have grouped those. Then if you look at the billing module, so much has been grouped under that. And again, also, if you look at diagnostics, we have the imaging procedures, laboratory, lab manifest, and all. And that also goes for the rest of the tabs. So our focus today will be on the diagnostic section. So if we click home, we are here. Then under the diagnostics, we'll be able to find the laboratory. Okay, So if I click on the laboratory, then I get the lab dashboard. We have the test ordered, the work list in terms of the number of tests that are on progress, the results in terms of the number of tests that have been done and the results obtained. Those will be marked as complete. So if you look at the available tabs under the dashboard, we have the test ordered, in progress, completed, and declined test. So from the lab section, the lab guys will be able to tell how many tests have been ordered today or now. They'll be finding that from this list, and then they take action. For the ones that have been, for the tests that have been accepted, they'll be able to see those under the in progress. And again, the tests that their results have been posted, they'll be found under the completed. In case of anything that necessitates the lab team to decline or reject the lab test or the lab request, they'll be able to see a list of all the declined tests under that particular declined test. Okay, so before I go to the lab, I want us to start off from the point of where the clinician or the healthcare provider is ordering for certain tests, and then we want to go with that and see how that can go all the way to when the lab team is able to post result. Then we can come back and check on the orders and the results that are there and see if that has made it back to the clinician. So I'll start from looking for a patient. Today we have two patients. We have Mary Mora and Barbara Banis. These are test patients, so we'll just use them for this particular showcase. So I'll just start with Mary Mora. So I can click on Mary. So I'm assuming at this point that I'm a clinician. I've seen this particular patient. I've filled in the clinical form, and now I'm making the laboratory order. Okay, so for us to make the lab order, we click on the order basket here. So I'll just click on the order basket, and we'll be having the order basket list. Our interest in the lab orders, so we'll be adding the lab order. Yeah, so we have some list of available tests that can be done in our lab today. My interest, maybe I can say we want to do a stool culture test. Yeah, I think it's there. Yeah, so we can do the stool culture. We can order that. Unfortunately, we don't have this configured as a chargeable item. I want to pick one that has got chargeable items that the patient needs to pay for so that we see how that goes. So let me look for another one. I can look for how about malaria. Yes, so I can pick malaria smear qualitative. We can see it is part of the chargeable test in this facility. So that means the client will be required to pay as they get this test done. Okay, so let's order for this test. We can have additional instruction under this. Let's just have that as our instruction. Then we save the order. Okay, if we need another order we can make, then we sign and we close. Okay, so we have a green alert there that our order has been saved. So that means the order now exists in the lab. Okay, so before we go to the lab, I just wanted us to also check how can a clinician see the tests that have been ordered, so the tests that have been ordered, so that they're able to now make certain decisions based on the orders. So under clinical consultation, as you can see, we have orders. So the clinician is able to tell which orders have been placed for this particular patient, on which date and which order numbers, and the type of order, and the priority, and the person who did the order. So this list contains all the orders that are being done for this particular patient, including the the drug orders. Yeah, so if we just expand a little bit, we can have more details on the order that was done. And if the result is available, we'll get the result here. The same goes for the order that was done. I think this was another malaria smear. There was no result. Okay, so we have two orders for malaria. Okay, but what I want to bring to your attention is the fact that the clinician is able to navigate and see the list of all the orders, all the lab orders that have been done for this particular patient. And this can be filtered even by date range, from which date to which date. And then also we can filter by the order types, whether it is a test order, drug order, a procedure order, or medical supplies order, right? Again, at the same time, they are able to see the result, and I'll come to talk about the results when we do our test. So I want to just stop that at this point. So I want to now move back to the laboratory section. So I'm going to be a lab technician. I'm going to see the test that was ordered today, and I'm going to carry out the test and see if we'll be able to see the results coming back. So I'll click home and I'll be a lab person. So for the lab guys, here is your home page where you'll be finding all the orders that have been made from the clinical side. Yeah, so we can see that Mary Mora had a test. You remember our patient was called Mary Mora, and the instruction was MPS. So this is the test that was ordered. So at the lab technician have some decisions to make. If the sample or the order is okay, they can proceed and conduct the test and post the result. Should there be a reason why they need to reject this lab request, then they'll be able to reject the lab request using this particular button and give a reason as to why they are rejecting this. Okay? So that is very, very, very important. So that if we reject this test, we can say we reject it because maybe we don't have the commodities for fulfilling that particular test. So you can say maybe let's say incorrect order. That's for testing. Then we reject. So we have a green that the lab has been, the laboratory order has been rejected. So we'll be able to see on the other side why that the status of that particular order. Okay. Now for the one that is not rejected, for the one that we made, so we can proceed and conduct the test. But before this is accepted, we'll need to first of all sort out the bill, because remember there was a bill associated with this particular test request that the patient will need to pay before this is picked for the lab work at the lab. So this particular process may not be on the ground right now, but it's a feature that is good to prepare you so that you understand how that workflow will be. We received a lot of feedback that the lab guys need to first of all verify that they have everything they need to conduct the test before they accept before the patient pays up for that particular test, because in certain instances the patient will pay for the test and then they are told that no, we cannot conduct that test for any given reason, right? So then it will be a whole process of managing how to refund the patient and all, and that creates a lot of unnecessary back and forth for the patient. So now the new workflow is that the lab could generate the bill and say, we are going to conduct this test. So they'll have to specify the bill. So the lab will say, okay, for this, it will be paid by cash or by insurance. Let's just say by insurance. And that's the amount that they'll be able to pay. So when they save and close, now that bill goes to the billing section so that the patient can pay for that particular test. So if you see the button now changes to unsettled bill. That means no test will be conducted until that bill is settled by the client, right? So in that case, we'll go to the billing section. We are going to the cash office to pay that bill so that they can come back and proceed with that particular test. So I'm going to be the cashier now. Yeah, so I'll go to the overview and we'll see Mary Mora with the pending malaria malaria test order with a pending payment status. Okay, right. So we can just pick that. We can pick that and pay. It's somehow very expensive, but just bear with us. Economy has dictated that malaria test was 2,000. So we'll proceed and pay. So the patient will pay this amount through, let's say, PESA or through any other payment option that has been set in the system. The bill is 2,000. So they'll pay that and we process the payment. Yeah, and then we can print the receipt so that the patient can now go with the receipt to the lab. And there goes our receipt for that particular payment. Okay. Patient walks away from the cash office, goes back to the lab just to prove payment. So the lab guys will again, they'll come back to the lab, and then now we'll go back to Mary Mora. Now you'll see that the lab guys can now pick the lab request because the payment has been done. So they'll pick this particular request so that it is moved to in progress. So this is one test that this lab is going to conduct. So if you come back to the in progress, you'll see Mary Mora's test is there, and you can see the details and the status is in progress. So the lab guys will proceed with the process of doing the taking the sample, doing the test and all. And when the result is ready, they'll come and add the lab result. And even at this point, they can still be able to reject lab request should they realize maybe there's something that needs to be done. So we'll proceed and add the lab result for this particular lab. So we'll say this is 2+. The patient is actually has malaria, and then we save and close. Okay. So once we save and close, so yeah, so once we save and close, you realize that now we don't have any test under progress. So we have the completed test, and you can see Mary Mora's test is here. So Mary Mora's test is here as the status completed, and we have the result, and we can edit the result. So if we go back, if the patient walks back to the clinical room, we should be able to get the result as a clinician so that we proceed with the patient management. Okay. So again, I'll be the clinician. I'll go back to the clinical section. Sorry. Yeah, so again, I'll go back home and pick the patient, and then we'll be able to now see if we have any result for this. Yeah, so you can see this particular test with the result, the 2+ that we are dedicated. We are not having any reference range specified for that, but we have the result as you are able to tell. So that this is how the clinician will be able to obtain the result and also take a certain management decision based on the result that is coming from the lab. Okay. there was something that I needed to show under the orders. For the clinician, there are certain action again that can be taken for each and every laboratory test request that has been made. For instance, remember we had declined this test, so we can have the status as declined. And again, also yeah, so sorry. So for each and every order that has been made, a clinician still has an option of either modify the order, especially if it was declined for some reason. They can modify. Let me just make that bigger. They can modify, or they can add the results, especially in smaller facilities where the test maybe was done offline and the patient has come with the result maybe in a paper form. The clinician is able to add the result. And the final option is that they can cancel the order so that maybe they do another order or they take a different action. Okay. Yeah. So that is the process of how the lab workflow happens from the clinician to the lab and back, and the actions that the clinician is able to take with each and every test order that they make. So I want to end it there and maybe transition it to my colleague Ugutu to now take us through the lab manifest component so that we understand how that is done before we come back and look at the report. So I think at this point, maybe Songok, I don't know if we can pick questions for this before we transition to the manifest, or we do the manifest, then we pick all the questions at the end. Okay, but with the earlier instructions, I think Songok had said that once the lab module is done, we transition to the lab manifest. So maybe I'll just welcome my colleague Gutu to take us through the lab manifest. Kindly write your questions down so that then we can respond to them at the end. But you can also use the chat section to just post your questions. Our team will be able to respond to you in real time. Thanks, and over to you, Gutu.
Thanks, Bernard. Good afternoon, everyone. Someone to confirm if I've audible.
Yeah, you are audible. Good.
Okay, thank you. I'll be taking us through a very short session on lab manifest. Let me just share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
You. The response. So on login to NAMR, they continue to us through an overview and also how to create lab orders. The process of creating lab orders for any test, be it a malaria test or an HIV test, the process is the same. I'll just come to the order basket and you do the lab order, search for the lab order you want. If it's HIV viral load, you'll have the order form, pick the priority, and also order reason from the list that is given there. save the order, or you can discard if in case you do not want to change. So the process is just the same. So I'll not dwell much on that. I just go straight to the lab manifest. So to access lab manifest from the NEMAR homepage, there are two ways of accessing the lab manifest. On the homepage, you can navigate to the diagnostics, and then we have lab manifest just as one of the options we have. Otino showed us this screenshot in the introductory slides, and this just gives a summary of the lab manifest. Tell you the total manifest that you have, the draft, those that are on hold, those that are ready to send, and then under those that are ready to send, the ones that are being sent, the ones that are in process of being sent, the ones that have already been submitted, and then we have the complete manifest, those with complete results, and those complete with errors. And then we have the incomplete manifest. So this is just a dashboard. Just at a glance, you'll be able to see what's happening within the lab manifest cycle. So if we want to do a lab manifest, you just navigate to the manifests here. It will take you directly to the lab manifest dashboard. So from here, you'll be able to create and then view other manifests that are different statuses. And other than this, that is one of the ways of accessing the lab manifest dashboard. The other way, you can go back to KenyaImara home by clicking on the KenyaImara icon on the top left. Once it will take you to KenyaImara home, the login page, the landing page when you log in. So to access the lab manifest, you can access it through the KenyaImara modules. When you click on the KenyaImara modules, we have the lab manifest app. When you click on the lab manifest app, it will still take you to the lab manifest dashboard. So those are the two ways of accessing the lab manifest module. So I'll just take us through an overview of the dashboard. So this will show you the active manifests, their status. Like for the ones that are on draft, you can select the option that you want from the list. If you want to see the ones that are on draft, select draft, which is the default one. If you want to view others that are ready to send, when you click on that, if there are manifests that are ready to send, you'll be able to see the list down there. So these, the ones that are on draft are these are manifest that samples are still being added to the manifest, and the manifest date. This draft, the manifest date range has not elapsed, and the samples are not ready for transportation. So it's still active. They're still adding samples to it. Those are the ones that are on draft. When you come to the ones that are ready to send, on the ready to send, you only set this when all valid samples have been added and are ready to be submitted. So we'll be able to see on how do you change from a draft to ready to send while working with the lab manifest. So that one means that those are ready. You've already added all the samples you wanted, and now they are ready to be submitted. And then we have another option, the ones that are on hold. This is set if for some reason you can set the manifest to be on hold. If for some reason you should not submit this manifest yet, so you hold it. Maybe there are some things you want to verify first before you send the manifest. You set the status to be on hold. So the list of manifests that are on hold will be displayed here. We have the ones that are being sent. Sending are the ones that are in the process of being sent. So if you set the status ready to send and they start sending them, you'll be able to see because the samples are sent in batches. So when you view, you'll be able to see the progress how the manifests are being sent. And then we have the submitted. Submitted are the ones that were changed from ready to send from the machine within, because this is where we need internet connectivity for them to be submitted to the lab. So the ones that have been verified, the status was changed from ready to send, and samples were verified. So those are the ones that have been successfully submitted to the lab. You'll be able to see them here. And then we have incomplete with errors. This will display the manifest that are incomplete with errors, and you'll be able to see the errors displayed on each and every manifest or sample that you added to the manifest. The same happens to those that are incomplete with the results. This will also be displayed here, the manifest results for some samples, and others which are still pending will be displayed under this option. And then we have complete with errors, those that are complete, but for some reasons, some of the samples have errors in them. So those will be populated under this particular option. And then we have complete with results. So these are the ones that have been completed, sent successfully, and the results are back. All the results that were sent are back. So that is all about the statuses of various lab manifests. So for one to create a lab manifest, we have this particular button here, add new manifest. So I'll take us through the process of creating a manifest in our next session. So to create a lab manifest, click on the add new manifest button. It will load for you the lab manifest form. Specify the date range for which you'd want to send the lab products that were done within a particular period that you'd want to send in the manifest. So the date range you specify will scan all the orders that were done within the date period you've specified. Those are the ones that will be pulled, and you can always select the ones that you want to include in the manifest. For example, let's specify a period. Let me just specify a longer period so that I can get some ports that were ordered in that period. Specify from first to date, and then the manifest type. You specify which type of manifest would you want to send. Do you want to send manifest for only EAD samples or VL samples or influenza samples? So you specify here so that when the list is pulled, you specify the specific orders that you'd want sent. So let me just use VL, and then the dispatch date. I would want to dispatch them today. The courier name that you guys use in your individual facilities, G4S, Rider, or any other courier means that you use. The department that this is handed to, you specify that it's a free text area. Let me just the default one that is already here, and then now you specify from which county you come from. Is it Kilifi? Is it Tana River? Is it Lamu? So whichever county, you'll be able to select the sub-counties that are within Kilifi, where you are, or where your facility is at, and then the facility email address. You can enter the facility email address. This is a free text because email addresses also changes. You can always enter the one that is active. The contact with the facility. Very important. You indicate the lab would want to do follow-ups. The clinician name. We have the clinician phone contact for follow-up purposes. You enter the one that is ideal, and then the lab person will be receiving, the contact of the lab person will be receiving samples. Now from here, you'll be able to set the status. Down here, the status of the manifest. So this is where the status is being set. So you can set the status as draft, ready to send, or on hold. For our case, this is just a new manifest. We've not even added samples to it. So I'll select draft, status, and then submit. Okay, we've created our manifest. Now we want to go to the next step on how to add samples to the manifest. We'll navigate to the queue of lab manifest. Last in, last out. So to access our manifest that we just created, we'll just go to the last page of the manifest. This is the one that I've just created now. The draft. So our draft is here. I'm seeing quite a number created here, but it's the last one. So the last in the list. So if you want to edit the manifest, you use the edit button. Otherwise, we'll be able to view our manifest. So from here, we'll be able to see we'll be able to see the details of your manifest, and from here you're able to see that there's no sample that has been added to this manifest. No samples at all. When you come to active request, this is where all the orders for lab were, all the orders for lab are listed for the period that is specified in your manifest. So it only pulls the lab orders done within that period that is specified. So for you to add any of the samples to the manifest, you can select that you want. You can select all of them, and you add all of them to the manifest, or you can individually pick the ones that you're interested in to send to the lab. If I can go with any of these just for demo purposes, when you click under actions, add to manifest, you click the plus sign. You choose the sample type. If it is frozen plasma or whole blood, select the one that applies. The sample collection date will specify depending on when this sample was drawn, if it is today or yesterday. The separation, when was it done? Then you just click on add sample. To create a payload. So this is not going to create a payload. Okay, that has been added successfully. So if in any case you see the error that it couldn't create a payload, then that is not a viral load request order. Okay, so this is a test order, and a lot happens with the test server. Even some of us I know are already logged in, checking on what we have on lab manifest. So after adding the samples, when you come back to manifest sample, you should be able to see all the samples that you, all the samples that you've added to this particular manifest. So after selecting all the samples that you want and added the ones that you're interested in, and confirmed the same, that these are the ones that you'd want to send one batch, then you go back to edit manifest, and then from here you change the status from draft to ready to send. When you submit this, then you should be able to have, it will notify you that lab manifest created successfully, and you should be able to, the samples that are already ready to send should be sent in any case you are having stable internet, and also your schedulers have been set to run. So the moment the scheduler interval reaches, it will be able to send the samples in batches. So when you come to ready to send here, you should be able to see this, and you can also view the same. The status is ready to send. This is the one that we just created. So I think that is all from me. Let me take it back to when I had put in.
Yeah, thank you, Gutu. Confirm I'm audible.
Very much audible.
Yeah, so I think you may just unshare your screen. So we can now take a look at some of the reports that are available in the EMR, especially pertaining to the lab. So very quickly, I'll just share my screen and go to please confirm if the screen is available on your end.
Yes, it is.
Right. So fortunately or unfortunately, the reports, we still access reports through the 2.x for now. We hope that soon we'll be able to onboard them into 3.x. So I'll just go back to 2.x so that I can access the reports. So how do we do that? We go to the options, then we look for Kenya Imar Home. So that is supposed to take us to the old screen for 2.x, and then we load the reports. Yeah, so for the lab-related reports, we get them under the EHR tab here. So the reports, the registers and the reports that are available for the lab, we have 706 as well as MOH 240. So I'll start with the first one, 706, which we find at the indicator column. So we have MOH 706 report. So I just want to run this report and see what we have. Let me just pick maybe from January to let's say end of March. You can choose any other date. So let me try to request for that report. Okay, so that was fast. So we have different views. We can view a report using the view link. We can load it as CSV, or we can look at the Excel template. So I just want to look at it as under the view, so that you're able to see for each indicator what do we have. So this is the list for 706. one good thing about this is that you can drill further down and find the line list. So for instance, if we want to look at the patients whose simply click at this number here so that we see the line list of those patients. Yeah, so you can see the 11 patients and what they have. And again, we can drill further down to the patient profile by clicking on a given patient so that we are able to open their profile. So that's how we can drill down through the reports. I just wanted to show you that. Okay. Another way to load the report is through the Excel. So you can just open the Excel, which is an exact template for MH 706. I just want to bring it on the screen. I hope you are able to see it. Yeah, so this is how it looks like. The laboratory test summary report. So we have all the variables there. If the lab module is used properly, then we'll end up with a nicely filled report that then makes the MIH reporting template. Okay, so we can look at another report, sorry. The other report is MOH 240, which is the lab register. So that is found under the patient follow-up report, the one I'm highlighting right now. So we can also see what we have under this report. So we can just request maybe for January to end of March. Yeah, then we let it run. Yeah, it's done. Again, we can view the report where we have this particular register, and you can click on the patient name to drill down further to the patient. Otherwise, you can also load the report through the Excel. And let's see how the template looks like. Yeah, so this is the register, MH 240, with all the available data in it. And I believe the lab team that is within the call are able to identify with this. Yeah, so that is how we load the report. That's how we generate report from the PMR. So if maybe there's any question regarding the report, or if there's a report that you feel should be there and it's not there, you can suggest that in the chat area, and we'll be able to look at it. Okay. So Ngoka, I wanted to stop it at that and take it back to you if you are still online, so that you can guide us in the next section.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Otieno. Confirm you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Otieno, for taking us through. Otieno, for taking us through the slide deck and for taking us through the demo. Otieno, my bat is running very low, so in case I drop off, you can for me, and then I'll probably hope can once I charge my gadget. So I think we can open it up for Q&A. I don't know whether there were any questions on the chat. Yes, there were questions on the chat. Unfortunately, I was not able to see them, but thanks, team members, for having responded to most of them. Thanks, Okutu, for responding to most of the questions that were asked. But I think this is also an opportunity for us to ask any other questions. I think Jen has already suggested if we have any report that we probably want to showcase, so want us to generate quickly for you to view, we can quickly do that. Then we can also take quick questions. See and from yes, I can see and from I can't see the name. I can see two ants, so Ogutu to ask the question. Brief for me for like 2 minutes.
Yes, Juma Baraza Patrick, your mic is active. You can unmute.
Okay, thank you. I'm Juma Patrick from Taita Taveta. Concerning lab orders, I understand that there are some circumstances that you can't avoid. Let's say, for example, a patient comes right now for VL, then we don't have power. So it means that the clinician won't do the lab order. So in case we take the sample right now, then on, let's say Tuesday, we do the lab manifest, then we have the power. It means that we'll do our request on Tuesday for us to send the sample. But then if we do the lab request on Tuesday, it won't pick it today from the Kenya EMR right now. So I don't know how you guys are working on it to make sure that even if we do the lab request on Tuesday, it will pick today as the date the sample was collected. Yeah, that is my question.
Thank you, Patrick Juma. I think that has been the concern for quite a number of users on retrospective data ordering of VLs, which has already been worked on. So our next release is coming with that feature whereby you'll be able to backdate and do the lab manifest. Thank you. The Fantas 1919, you can unmute.
Okay, my name is Fantas Wainaina from PCAQ Hospital. I have a question on the active lab orders, whereby maybe you have like 100 or 150 lab orders, and you need a specific order to be to take to submit. On our side, we are unable to search for that order, unlike before. In the last version, you could search. I've tried filtering with the dates. It's also not filtering, and also that search button. So you have to move like the 10 pages in the 100 request orders for you to get maybe the order that you require. Maybe you can help us on that side.
Yes, we are aware about that. It had
Can I?
Oh,
Go to, I don't know if, yeah.
okay.
Let me just quickly share my screen and see if this is what is referring to. Yeah, Fantas, you can confirm if this is what you are referring to, because I can see there's a search section here where you are able to search the test orders.
Active lab orders.
He's
On the
talking
manifest,
about
on the draft
on the
manifest.
manifest.
Okay.
On the manifest, yes. On the manifest, that feature wasn't there, but it's something that has already been worked on and is under test. So our new release should be having that, so that you should be able to search for samples to add to the manifest. I know that is what you're asking, Fantas.
Yes, that's what I was asking about. Thank you.
Thank you. That one has been sorted, and the new release will come with that feature.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Ogutu, I'm back. Sorry for that each. So I don't know, have we responded to the questions that had been asked, or are we yet to take Francis Onyango's question and Gabriel Opio?
Yes, we're moving in that order. So the next should be Francis moving downwards.
So let me suggest we take both questions, then we respond them because of time. I know we are standing between this presentation and guys starting their Easter holiday. So maybe Francis and Gabriel, you can allow them. They ask their questions, then we can respond to those two questions. In case there is any other, we can take some more. So Francis first, then Gabriel.
Yeah, thank you, Bernard and Ogutu, and also Sangot for a very good presentation, well illustrated. Just a couple of areas for clarification or question. One, the current 3.x in respect to, I think the lab order in specifically I'm asking for viral order, allows for multiple or more than one request for a particular test. And this has been a challenge because you may find when the results come back, there'll still be a pending lab order, an active lab order that has not been taken care of. So I don't know whether from the system it's possible to restrict, just as it was in the older, the preceding 2.x, where when there's an active order, another order cannot be made for the same request. Then two, when tracking for viral load results, the status in the lab manifest, I don't know whether it's still there, I've not checked of late, but there used to be an outcome for inactive. Maybe a clarification on what inactive means in respect to a lab order that has been made. Then lastly, I think the lab manifest is in relation to getting the results for viral order has really been beneficial for patient management. I don't know if there are plans to scale up the same way of synchronizing results from a central platform to other tests like, say, EID and CD4 and even GeneXpert. So far, we are so good with VL. If it can be scaled up to other tests, then it would also be very good for us. Lastly, just a suggestion, I don't know whether the MOH643B, which is a tool for reporting on lab commodities, will be under lab or it is under the commodity module. But if you ask me, maybe it could be one of the tools that can be under the lab module. Thank you, and back to you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Francis. Gabriel?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Hello?
Yes, Gabriel,
Yes,
can you hear? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm happy that we are having a meeting today. My concern is when preparing for manifest, that is for shipment, referral maybe to KCRH or wherever. There is this manifest that you find that some samples, for me as a VL guy who normally ship the sample to KCRH, you find that some samples are not in the manifest and some are there. So you want to do away with the ones that are not there so that you don't have a big was manifest, but you are unable. Is there a way that we can be allowed to modify the manifest at my end so that I only allow the request that is existing in the manifest and the one that are not there and not I
Gabriel, we lost your audio. Ogutu, can you hear Gabriel?
No.
Yeah, I think
We lost
Yeah, we lost his audio because he's unmuted. Probably maybe has challenges
but
with
I
network.
think I've had this question.
Yeah. I think it was related to whether you can be able to modify the lab manifest.
was not there. I don't know whether you are getting me.
Yeah, we got your
Yes.
question, Gabriel, but I think your network is a bit unstable. I don't know. Did you still have another question or you were done?
I was done by then.
Thank you.
Only
Thank you.
that saying off.
Sorry? Okay. All right. Gabriel, we got your question. Now we can go to Lydia. Then we close with Nyamira. Richard Nyamira, we answer those questions. Lydia?
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Lydia. Go ahead.
Okay, I had a concern. First of all, thank you for the information. I had a concern when it comes to manifest. There is a case where, okay, you find in the active request there are two same patients. Do you add all of them, or you delete one? Hello,
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yes. I get you. We get you, Lydia. We'll respond to that. Thanks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Richard. Richard, the last one, then we respond to those. Richard, Nyamira, go ahead.
Yes, and I'm Richard Nyamira from Kisii County. So my question was, in terms of adding samples to the lab managed first, sometimes you can get the clinicians as done his work, he has requested the samples and they are reflecting at the site of the lab. But while adding these samples to the manifest, some of the samples might say unable to add to the manifest. So it becomes a challenge to know where is the problem, because the clinician will tell you, from my side, the client has got all the data that is required. But now to my side, this patient, you cannot be able to add him. The system cannot be able to add him to the manifest. So is there a way we can be able to see which is the missing data which is required for this patient to go through?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, so I think probably Otieno and kindly, yeah, thanks. Otieno and Ogutu, you can probably share out the questions and respond to them. So there was the first questions from Francis asking about restrictions to one active sample, then the tracking of results, and then are we planning to scale up synchronization of other tests, like for instance, because I know that has been done perfectly well with Virolot, so are we extending that to EID and the others? And then I think there were other questions from Gabriel and Lydia. I hope you took note of them. I really don't want to read through because I may again take time. So Otieno, maybe you can go first. Then the rest of the questions can be responded to by Ogutu. Gabriel and Nyamira, please lower your hands so that we can see who else is online to ask questions. Go ahead, Otieno.
I think most of the questions were pertaining to lab manifest, so maybe I'll just allow Gutu to take some of them, then I can pick some.
Ogutu.
Yeah, just going through my list. If I would start with Francis, talking about one being able to add multiple orders for the same request. And then we had plans to scale up synchronizing of results other than the VL. This is the work in progress, and currently, other than the VL, we have EID, which can be synchronized successfully, and the flow test. This can be synchronized using the lab manifest. So for the other tests, is work in progress, but those ones currently you can successfully synchronize them between the processing lab and the facility EMR. On the issue of doing same request, I think this needs to be looked into, and maybe I'll reach out so that we review the same to Francis. And there was another one. Some samples are not in the manifest, or if you'd want to remove some samples from the manifest, I think this was from Gabriel. Yes, it's possible to edit the manifest after changing the status from draft to its sent. You can still edit if they haven't been sent, so that you can remove some of the samples that you not want to be sent. That feature is available. Let me just share my screen once again. I wanted to share my screen and somebody has already removed the sample I added to my manifest. That is the problem with shared resource with the test server. So somebody has removed what I'd already done. Somebody has removed. I wanted to take us through on how you can remove a sample that has been added manifest. The feature is there. And that way you can reach out us via our toll-free line and the contact that have been shared on chat, in case you have challenges. Lydia Achin talked about active request, duplicate active requests. So for Lydia, we would advise to pick one sample. You don't pick both of them. And we would want also to just try to investigate, understand why there are duplicate requests for the same patient. I think that is something that we'd want to look into too. Richard Nyamira, adding samples to the manifest. There are several reasons why a sample cannot be added to a manifest. And I know it doesn't tell you exactly the reason why that sample can't be added to the manifest. That feature hasn't been added to the manifest, but it's work in progress. In any case you have a challenge, kindly reach out to us via our toll-free line. We'll be able to investigate as the reason why that particular sample cannot be added to that manifest. There are several that cut across, it's not uniform for all. So we'll be able to check on the patient chart and identify the reason, sort it out so that they can be included in the manifest. I think that's all. And you can also cancel a lab order. That's also possible. Thank you, and back to you, Samok. Songok in. Songok, if you're talking, you're muted. Songok has dropped off. We still have more questions. We can get one from Okuto. From Kuto. Kuto, you can unmute.
Yeah, my name is Kuto from Kwale, and I need some clarifications on some clients in the manifest that you sent lab samples. So after the results come back, then you find that that same client has the results, but again has a pending order. So you'll find that that client has results of the same day that you ordered, but at the same time has a pending order. So maybe you give me some light on what could be the problem, or is it a capacity issue or something need to be done? Thank you.
Sorry, I got dropped again. Samuel, you can go ahead and ask your question, then the team can respond. Or you, I think I've seen Samuel's hand is down. I don't know whether his question has been responded to.
To ask some question on why some clients are having a pending VL for one that just already back. I think for such a scenario, you can always reach out to us so that we can investigate and check on why that happened. So we should be able to get you a fix for the same and why it happened and how to avoid it. Kindly reach out through our toll-free line, or you can do a ticket via our email address. So when you send an email to that email address, it creates a ticket in our system. We'll be able to be notified and reach out to you.
All right, thank you, Guto. I don't know that there's any other question. Yeah, there's a hand up. You can allow Boyd to ask his question. I'm hoping that that should be the last one. Oh, Eric, Ntabo his hand is up again. So let's take the two, Ntabo and Samuel and Boyd. Then I think we should close at that. Boyd, go ahead.
Boyd,
Okay,
just unmute. Okay.
Oh, thank you for this session. It has been a wonderful session, and we've learned a lot. I have two questions that I'd like to put across. Question one is we find that getting results has been a challenge, and it forces us to go to our counterparts who are the health records personnel so that they may be able to always retrieve or refresh the system for us so that the lab manifest can go, so that they may push the manifest and also retrieve the results. How can this be done so that it may be possible for it to become automatically? Because when you go to the scheduler is when you can access all that, but some of us don't have those access to go until you go to the manager scheduler so that you may be able to always refresh the results. How can it be placed possible for anyone so that the system may just be automatically, not always manually, so that you may always go and refresh so that you may be able to push the results or retrieve the results? That is one. Then the second one is on the manifest. How can the system be modified? So we want it to be a user friendly so that it may help us to achieve our goals. Because when you go to the manifest, when you search for a sample, it checks the recent one is not yet appearing immediately. You might go down to the bottom of the list so that you may find the recent manifest. How can it be arranged, or is it possible for it to be arranged systematically so that when those manifests are in order on how you have requested them or how you have been requesting them? Thank you. Back to you.
All right. Thank you.
Just
Thank you,
before I
Boyd.
forget the thought process, let me answer Boyd in terms of arrangement of the manifest. So the last manifest you do is the last that will be in the queue. That is how it is configured to work. And if you do a manifest, you just go to the last manifest in the list of active manifests. You'll be able to see the one that you've done last. On the issue of challenges with getting results, I think that is something that maybe needs to be discussed, but schedulers are only set once. You can set schedulers to pull reports at an interval of 30 minutes, 1 hour, and you don't need to accessing the scheduler each and every now and then. Schedulers can be set once depending on the setup and resources of your facility. How frequent can it be pulling results from the EID website? Because it does that in batches. If you set it to pull results after every 2 or 1 hour, it will be checking, provided your server is actively connected to the internet. At an interval of 1 hour, it will be pulling ready results from the EID and updating in the EMR without intervention. So this should be, it should be a manual, and that is why we have the lab manifest, so that we remove the manual processes. So if any case it's a challenge, maybe you can reach out to us so that we can liaise with you guys on how best you can set up your server to help you do this automatically. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ogutu. So we can have one last one from Tabo Samuel. Ogutu, confirm if you've allowed. Yes, Ntabo, just go ahead and unmute.
Thank you. This is Ntabo Samuel from Suba Sub-County Hospitals, Homa Bay. My questions were two. However, one has been asked by Kutu, but I'll just reiterate. There is an issue whereby you find the system is telling you that it's a pending VL result, yet when you check under result, there is a result for that client. What are you doing on the same? Secondly, under orders for a client, you find that under priority, under status, it is saying in progress. And this affects when you are adding the sample to the manifest, because when you try adding that sample to the manifest, when you run your manifest, you will not find this patient, this order under the active orders under manifest. How do you go about it? Or is it something that comes automatically? There is a way that it is set by the user. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Ndabo. On the last issue on manifest, you can't do duplicate having several samples in different manifests. In any case, you had already added a sample to a manifest that is already being processed. You cannot add it on another new manifest. That it will notify you that is already one done. So you can't do a sample in multiple manifests. You only do one sample in one manifest to avoid sending duplicate request to the lab. On the issue of the flag that a client has a valid VL but still being flagged, that was a bug that has already been fixed and already tested. So our new release will come with that fixed. That was a bug. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ogutu, for responding to the questions. I also want to appreciate the team online who've been responding to most of the questions on the chat and on the Q&A wall. That is Adeline, Mary Ann. Thank you very much for being available to just respond to some of those questions on the wall. Otieno, I don't know any comments as we close.
Yeah, thanks, Ogok. I think I don't really have a lot of comments. I just want to thank all the participants for their time, for attending this training. So the next training we have, the next one will be having the general navigation on the 3.x, just to ensure that everyone understands how to navigate the 3.x interface, all the way from the appointment management, queue management, and all the related general navigations. So that will take place on 24th. That is next Thursday. Same time, same place. So kindly look out for that and have it in your calendar. Otherwise, thank you. And I think we'll be sharing the link to all the resources that pertains to our training materials online, both on YouTube and the website. That will be posted shortly, so you can pick the link and maybe check out those materials at your own time. Thanks, and over to you, Sundar.
Thank you very much, Otieno, and we appreciate the work that or the time that you've put into just ensuring that this happens. Of course, working closely with the team at NASCOP. So let me take this opportunity to appreciate each and every one of us for finding time to attend this virtual training. We are looking forward to interacting with you further next week, and of course the week after next week. And I think Otieno has already mentioned what is on the table next week, the areas that we'll be focusing on. So up to this point, I want to say thank you very much. Feel appreciated on behalf of the leadership at NASCOP. I want to take this opportunity to wish each and every one of us happy Easter holidays. Stay safe. See you next week. So as we close, I want to request Ogutu, kindly, can you pray for us? Or Mary Ann, I don't know that Mary Ann is still in the call. Mary Ann, you can pray for us. Mary Ann, are you still in the call?
Yes, I am. You want me to do what?
Pray for us as we close. Thanks.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening. We thank you, Father, for what we have learned today, and we hope that we are going to be able to utilize it in our facilities. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Enjoy your Easter holidays. Thank you.